looks just like Gibbs, except shorter." And he's like, he really thought he was Gibbs at first. And I was like, "Nah,
Yeah.
he's short, stocky, and hyper as hell."
No, he for sure loved Kyle's house. For sure.
Yeah. I was telling my dad, I was just like, "Yo, his dog showed up, and he was just like, I don't know what to expect." He really didn't know what to expect. But what made it all the more hilarious is he ended up with dog treats and a new bone.
Right.
Oh, damn, that was
For
hilarious.
real. He definitely
But
had a day.
he definitely had himself a day. But in any case, hey y'all, it's your boy Kyle Stegman. I'm joined by my guy George Moon, aka Big Moon. We hear he did it again. The damn strobe lights, bro. I swear, I keep forgetting you're doing it from your phone too, which makes it hilarious. Yo,
Yes.
I'm on. Okay, so y'all, what y'all don't know is I'm on a computer. He's on his phone. If I do that, it ain't gonna do it for me. But when he does it, it looks like he's at a damn rock concert. But in any case, man, yo, we're back with another episode of No Narratives Podcast, episode 19, man. 19. Yo, it's truly blessed to make it to 19. Yo, it's insane. But yo, we're back with another one. We're here to talk about, of course, the NFL. We're here to talk about these guys right here, them Texans. They got a big one yesterday. Yeah, them guys right there. They got a big one yesterday. I know if you're a Texan fan, you're like me, you're like Moon. So happy that it wasn't another stressful ass game. We could actually just sit back and enjoy it. Unfortunately, it had to come at the mercy of the Patriots. Shout out to the Patriots fans. Y'all were on top for so long. Let some of us other fans enjoy the love a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But my guy, Big Moon, how you doing, dog? You having a good day? You had a good weekend?
It's Victory Monday, so I can't
Victory
complain.
Monday. Hey, I hear that,
so
dog.
I'm proud of that. So yes.
Mhm.
So everybody, welcome to No Narratives Podcast. If you're not subscribing, please subscribe, like, comment. Let us know what you think. We're NFL fans. Yes, we talk about Texans and we talk about our upcoming opponents, but hey, we can always talk about other sports as well and other teams. Like I said, before I became a Texan fan, Seahawks. Don't ask me how. It's just how it happened. I guess it was just the wrong channel at that time. At that time, it was 26 and not channel 11. But yes,
I see what you did there.
Yeah,
Good old Fox.
Good old Fox. That's how I started it all off, for real, honestly.
Yeah.
But yes, Texans
I know y'all
won.
see.
Texans won.
Texans got that dub. That much needed dub. I know y'all see me making a drink right here, y'all. Yo, if you're drinking, drink responsibly, of course. Or don't drink.
Stay hydrated, my friends. Please.
Stay hydrated. If the Moon's over there drinking water, I'm having me a victory drink.
For sure.
Even though it's a day after.
Right.
Texans got a big old dub yesterday. 41-21. And like I said, Texan fans, I know y'all are excited with the fact that y'all aren't having to hold your breath, or another strand of hair turned gray, or you lost some more hair just because of all these close-ass games. But yesterday, Texans took care of business. It was a little rocky there in the first half, but that second half came out and we came out swinging. And when Money Mills comes in and halfway through the fourth quarter, you got the game in lock. So, or either that or we're getting thrashed. But that wasn't the case for us. Texans won 41-21 on a insane day by Joe Mixon, Damian Pierce. Welcome back to both of them. Running game, was so happy to see both of y'all. But I know I'm going to give a shout out to somebody, and I know Moon is going to love it. That motherfucking man, Will Anderson. Baby. Woo! Yeah. Big Will.
Roll Tide.
I don't know about all that, but
Roll Tide.
I won't say all that, but Big Will.
Blitz, Bama Blitz. Okay.
I'll say this.
Bama Blitz.
Big Will. 3 sacks. Forced fumble.
8
tipped
tackles.
pass resulting in an interception. 4 quarterback hits. I'm sorry, 4 tackles for losses. I apologize. 3 quarterback hits. It's my bad. I'm human. Huge game for Mr. Anderson. Huge day. Huge game. Or as we can go for Patriots, or not Patriots, Matrix reference, Mr. Anderson. Huge day for Mr. Will Anderson. Danielle Hunter got in on the sack parade as well. He also forced a sack fumble. So great game for the defense. They needed it. Defense had, I think they said in the broadcast, 3 turnovers over the first 4 or 5 weeks. It was abysmal. Ended up with 4 takeaways yesterday. Huge for us. Won the turnover battle 4-1. CJ did have the interception in the end zone, which I think it was thrown behind Dalton Schultz, tipped into the air, and then the safety coming in on the ricochet ended up taking it. Unfortunate. It happens though. But all in all, massive game great game for the Texans. I was actually talking to my pops, talking about the running back situation. I was happy to see that Daria Gumbawale didn't get lost in the shuffle with Joe Mixon and Dameon Pierce coming back. He showed out. He was huge for us when both of them were down the last few weeks. Came in and gave us really good plays, really good minutes when it came to playtime. And I'm glad that they didn't lose him in the shuffle. With those 2 coming back, he still came in on 3rd down and in key situations, touched the rock with I'm looking at it here. He had 2 carries, and he was not targeted in the passing game, but he was in the game. But Mixon, 13 carries, 102 yards with a tutty. Dameon Pierce, 8 carries, 76 yards in the tutty. Controversial, questionable tutty, but tutty nonetheless.
Touchdown.
And then both, let's see here. Joe Mixon, 2 catches, 30 yards with the touchdown, and then Dameon Pierce had a catch for a yard. But instant rushing game with both of them coming back. Where the Texans struggled the last several weeks, without having really much of a run game. It was there in spurts, but not really all that consistent. This one they had a much better game yesterday running the ball, and it obviously started with Joe Mixon and Dameon Pierce coming back. So, and with that, CJ dropped back 31 times, but he only threw for 192 yards. So when you have a good run game, it's nice that he doesn't have to have the pressure of throwing the ball downfield. And then, your thoughts?
Well, honestly, also helps CJ is that he started on a short field as well, thanks to our defense causing turnovers. Honestly, and then, hey, shout out to the Texas franchise. We finally get a win at Gillette Stadium. First win
1-7. It only took 8 fucking times. But
only took 20 years. About 22 years, something like that. But yeah, but no, like I said, CJ had a nice game. It's something that you'll want to see after so many weeks of him having to produce. We finally get our running backs back, and they contribute in many ways. I didn't expect us to, rush for 192 yards, but we did. It was beautiful.
Was it 192? It was. I think the total stats when it came to rushing, and I don't mean to cut you off on that. Rushing was, for the love of God, they got to put everything. Rushing. Oh, you're right. 192. I stand corrected.
Fuck 92. Yeah.
My bad.
But also I like the defense. Our defense for sure. After the last couple games where we played pretty hard, we didn't cause no turnovers, and we didn't do anything. Quarterback pressures, yes, but weren't getting no sacks, especially with Will and Daniil Hunter. And like I said, but at the end of the day, I also gotta be realistic. It's a game that we were supposed to have like that against the Patriots that really are in a rebuilding year. We did go against a rookie quarterback. And, I'm going to give shit out to Drake May. Drake May actually showed some potential.
100%. Yo, he was, I think, and I don't mean to cut you off, he was nervous in the first half, but he came out slinging in the second half. So, amazing shout out. Hell yeah.
He had no fear. So for Patriots fans, hey, think about it. This guy, his first game, and he plays a top 5 defense. And he didn't do that bad. He scored 3 touchdowns. He had that one bomb that Stingley got beat on, and it was a beautiful dime. So you guys got potential. It's just now it's time for the organization to try to put pieces around him for sure. Maybe try to build an O-line for him. But like I said, it was a game that we were supposed to win. I say we were supposed to win by that much. Defense was supposed to show out like that. But even though it was a good win, it does come with scars. We come out with 3 key players with injuries. We have Laramie Tunsil with an ankle. We got Al-Shire with the knee, and then also Henry Toto going with a concussion
Concussion
protocol.
protocol. Yeah.
So that's, right there is two of our biggest stars for our defense. So we got to see how that goes throughout the week.
Right.
But also, then we also get defensive tackle that just got suspended, Edwards. Mario Edwards. Mario Edwards Jr. just got suspended for 4 games for, I'm guessing, PEDs.
PEDs. Yeah, I think it was PEDs.
But luckily, we get D'Amico Autry back from the 6 game suspension. So we're coming back on that for sure. But coming into our offense, hey, I'm glad to see Tank Dell finally getting a touchdown. I'm glad to see that, our tight ends at least Dalton Schultz could have done a little bit more better when it came to the passing game. I think it was targeted like 8 times, only got 4 catches for like maybe 27 yards. You can fact check me on that one. I believe. I don't know.
He was targeted. You're right. He was targeted 8 times, 4 catches, 27 yards. He did have the target in the end zone that resulted in an interception, but I think it was a bad pass. I think it tipped off of his hands and into the defender's hands. So
right. So we got things we still have to work on. Even though it was a good win, we got things we got to work on. Like I said, with Laramie Tunsil, most likely we do have him next week. But shout out to Fisher for stepping up, and even though it wasn't in a critical part of the game because we already were up by maybe a couple touchdowns or a couple possessions, he did step up and still kept it clean for us to do what we had to do to secure our win and just make sure it was going to be a win. Shout out to Damian Pierce too. Saying he hasn't played since week 1 and you heard me. I called.
Was it week 1 or was it? I don't even think he played week 1. I thought he
played. He played week 1 and had like 11 yards. He only had like 3 carries. He only had 3 carries. Okay, so when he got that pitch and he took it to the house, I called it. I said, he got the pitch. I said, he's got it. He's gone. Did he step out of bounds? Hell no, he didn't step out of bounds. He was his toe was still inbound.
Stepped out of bounds when he was already across the plane.
He did a Michael Jackson, all right? He did a Michael Jackson. He pivoted that.
Is that what he did?
Yes.
I'm going to say something that neither one of us has brought up yet, and this has been a huge talking point for all of us or all Texan fans over the course of the last several weeks. Penalties. It was great to see the fact. Yeah, we had 4 penalties, but that's a far cry from where we've been at the last several weeks.
I agree.
And we had 4 penalties that resulted in 38 yards against us, and that was a huge talking point for us, for the media, for fans. But I'm pretty sure even the organization. So that's one thing that we can control on our end is the mental aspect of things. And you're saying we're supposed to come out and do this to a team like this who's kind of reeling, who is still in a rebuild process. You're right 100%, but if we're beating ourselves, we're leaving them in the game. We didn't allow that to happen this week. We kept the penalties to down. I think, and the majority of the yards came on a pass interference on Eric Murray, if I'm not mistaken. So the one thing that I will definitely say, all the penalties I think came on the defense. Nothing came from the offense, which is amazing in the sense from all the freaking penalties we've had accumulate on the offense, which means that is 2 weeks in a row that Laramie Tunsil hadn't had a false start or illegal formation or whatever the case is. So a little shout out to Laramie Tunsil for knowing the play call and then knowing the count. If it was a hard count or if we're going on 2, shout out to him.
I haven't taken a shot in 2 weeks, thanks to you. Thank you, Laramie Tunsil.
I can attest to yesterday because he was here at my apartment watching the game with me, and he didn't take a shot at all. Actually, I don't think he busted a beer open until like the game was over, and we were watching the Cowboys and Detroit game, if I'm not mistaken.
After we had to heat up them tacos, boy.
You ate
shout out to them tacos and shout out to HEB. If you ain't Texas and going to HEB, yeah, I don't know what you're doing.
HEB fucked me up though. I was at the damn I was in the damn line, had a fucking case of Dos Equis, and they're like, "Oh no, sir, it's Sunday. You can't buy alcohol." And I'm like,
"Not till 10:30. That's all.
Not till 10:30.
Not till 10:30."
I'm like, "Come on."
How do I know? I researched it. I promise. I researched it. I researched it.
I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna give y'all my money, but nah, it's all good." My boy Moon ended up coming in the clutch. He showed up with that 6-pack of Modelo's. We did our thing. The most hilarious part of the entire evening, though, was when he's out there grilling the taco meat up, grilling the chicken and beef. He goes to grab the damn Miller Lite High Life out of the refrigerator. And I was like, bro, that ain't the one you brought. That's the one you brought 6 months ago. And he's like, oh, it's marinated.
Aged beer is good beer, baby.
I was damn near rolling on the floor. And for y'all that are gonna come at me in the comments and come at me, yeah, I don't drink Miller Lite. I don't drink Miller Lite High Life like that. So yeah, that's why it was sitting in my fridge for 6 months.
It is the best beer to marinate with your meat if you're gonna barbecue. Believe me or don't, it's whatever. That's on y'all. But baby, this is Texas, and trust me, we know barbecue. And then then it's propane, so we know we're king of the hill in that motherfucker. So we
doing what our thing.
Propane accessories, baby.
Until his dog keeps on opening up my door and setting off the fire alarm.
yeah. He was anxious.
Damn. Yeah, he was definitely anxious with everything we were doing. But back to the game, man. It was a great game. It was great to finally get a win where it wasn't us sitting on the edge of our seats wondering what was going on, or wondering what was going to be the outcome. They took the lead, never relinquished it. Defense stayed on it.
So stressful times, but I mean,
there were some stressful times, and there was times where I'm just kind of like, what the fuck are y'all doing? But that comes with every single game when you really come down to it. I mean,
yes,
the other team that lines up is professionals as well, so they're going to do things as well. So, you got anything else you want to add to the Texans game, man, or do you want to move on to the next?
Player of the game, I give it to Joe Mixon on offense, and for defense, Will Anderson Jr. Hands down.
And I'll say this: I think Al-Shaair will end up playing next week because he ended up coming back into the game after the injury.
Yeah, so that was the weird part for me, And then at the same time, like I think they mentioned today that because we were just so up and we had the backups, we didn't even notice that our starting linebackers were out of the game. Even when Joe Mixon was out, we're like, "Where's Joe?" And then out of nowhere, he got back in.
He got back in. I think he caught that, or no, he ran in a touchdown, and I'm like, "Oh, there he is, found him." But so I think Al-Shaair will end up playing. I think he won't practice at all this week. They'll hold him out, practice for precautionary purposes. But I think,
I say give it to him. The man lost 10 pounds the week before, almost in the ER on Saturday. Now this week, a banged up knee. Like, let the guy rest, bro. He deserves it on the cool. He's been a great addition to this defense for sure.
I'll give another shout out real quick to the defense as a whole. And you might have to fact check me on this. I think this is like the second or third game this year where they've held an offense to under 300 yards total.
I know it's the third game that they held down 100 yards rushing for sure.
Yeah. So because I'm looking at it right here, 291 total yards against the Pats. So let's see here. Let me pull up. Like I said, you're gonna have to fact check me on this one. Box score, they gave up. I'm looking at the wrong thing here. Gave up 276 against the Bills. And then let's see here. The Jaguars, they gave
that was a game.
They gave up 313, and a lot of that came on that run by Bigsby. They gave up 313. That's still pretty good though. Let's see here. I don't even want to look at the Vikings game. I know damn well they got waxed on that one.
Next.
No, ironically enough, they only gave up 274 yards against the Vikings, and we still got waxed 34-7. That's terrible.
That's terrible.
The Bears, they gave up 205 total yards. Yo, the defense is cooking this year. After that first game against the Colts, where we were questioning them and calling them out, where they gave up 300 yards. I mean, we were tough on the defense, but the defense stepping up, holding teams under 300 yards total offense. Yo, that's saying something. So
yeah, I mean, a lot of
shout
those
out
guys,
to the defense.
A lot of those guys at least played at least 3 years together already, 3 or less. So there's a lot of chemistry. So everybody knows their
job. And the crazy
job.
thing is they're doing that without one of their best linebackers and best players on defense, Christian Harris. So a shout out to Henry 2020. I know he's in concussion protocol, but shout out to him to stepping in and filling that void. Shout out to the defensive line holding it down, and shout out to the corners, man. Stingley, this was a big year for him. Coming in, he gave up the big bomb yesterday to for Drake May, and I don't remember who that player was, I remember who it was. His last name is Booty. It's Booty because you're like, man, that's Booty.
That's Booty. Yeah.
That's terrible. That's what that is. That's terrible. And then, even with the revolving carousel at safety, because Jimmy Ward is hurt, and then he's not hurt, and he's back to being hurt again. So, I mean, it's a shout out to the defense, man, for doing their thing. So,
Definitely a shout out.
Definitely a shout out. They've got a big test coming up next week, though, with Green Bay. We're traveling to Lambeau. Green Bay's 4-2. Coach D'Amico said it himself that Jordan Love will be the best quarterback we faced up until this point this season, and I'm not disagreeing with him. Anthony Richardson has been great. Has had really good moments, but he hasn't had that defining moment yet. I think Caleb Williams, you can attest to this on this because I said it yesterday. If we were to play the Chicago Bears now, it would be a much different game. Because he's playing a lot better than he did week 2. So
he's finally reading it.
He's finally figuring it out. He's letting the game come to him, and he's finally figuring it out. So Caleb Williams, at the time we played, obviously isn't as good as he's playing now. And I'll be the first to admit, if we played them now, that would be a totally different game. Week 3, Sam Darnold waxed our asses, but that was more of the Vikings as a whole because our offense can never get going. Trevor Lawrence, obviously, we know what's going on with T-Law. And then yesterday against, I forgot, Josh Allen. Didn't have a Josh Allen-esque game, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just say that. And then yesterday's game against a rookie. So Jordan Love D'Amico said Jordan Love will be the best quarterback we faced up until this point. So it'll be a good game. They've got a really good ball carrier and Josh Jacobs, and then they've got a solid receiving core around Jordan Love. I think it's Jalen Reed or Jaden Reed, one of the two. Christian Watson, or I think it's Christian Watson.
They got quite a few good receivers, and they got a good tight end as well.
Yeah, they got a good tight end. They got a good core of players around him. So it's not going to just be a walk in the park. And Texan fans, we're in for another potentially stressful game. So just be ready for that one. So you got anything you want to add on to that before we move on?
I mean, just to be honest, guys, the next
games.
This whole stretch of games that we got left is going to be stressful, guys. There's no joke about it. We got Green Bay, and then after Green Bay, we have
the Colts.
Then
we're on the road against. Then we're on the road against A-Rod and the Jets, and then we're home against Detroit, and then we got
Dallas.
Then we got Dallas. Then we're home for the Titans, and that's the crazy part. All the games we've mentioned so far, we've yet to play the Titans.
We always play them late, so
we always play them late.
Season.
And then we're on the road against Jacksonville to start off December. And then we have what I call the gauntlet, which is the Dolphins, Kansas City, the Ravens, which the Ravens had a really good game yesterday against Jaden Daniels, who, given a secondary shout out, Jaden Daniels is having an amazing rookie season so far. He's having an amazing year so far, and I give it to him, especially this early on in his career. Congratulations to him. And then we finished the season off with the Titans in Tennessee, which they have it as to be determined right now. So it's...
To me, it's not even a gauntlet, bro. It's like the Mortal Kombat, journey, just like the towers,
yeah.
So be ready to buckle down. But at the end of the day, it is a test. It's a good game to be tested, bro.
And that's the thing that
it's about to get serious. It's about to get serious.
I tell people all the time. I tell people all the time. You want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
And that means you also got to win games away.
It means you also got to win games that aren't going to be easy. That Detroit game, it ain't going to be easy. I mean, let's be honest with you. The Colts game ain't going to be easy. The Jets game going to New York or going to New Jersey or wherever the hell it is ain't going to be easy. Detroit, the Cowboys game, even though they got waxed by Detroit yesterday, that ain't going to be an easy game. I mean, we already know, and then we already know how it is for in our division games or in division games. The Titans, Jaguars, and Colts. It doesn't matter if they're 1-4, 0-5, or what. It's gonna be a damn dogfight the whole freaking game.
Yes, sir.
So it's Texan fans, bring on your bring the alcohol, bring the bring your anxiety medicine. You're gonna need it. It's gonna be stressful. Like, it's gonna be wild. There ain't getting
But I
around that.
expect it to be a good game. I do not expect it to be
Oh yeah.
no Vikings game for sure. We're
And I
we're
think
finally
that
developed to know what we have to do to stay
right.
into a game.
And the only thing that I think that we all are holding on to is A, it's not going to be a blowout, and then B, let's not lose anybody. And if we do, it's not long term, and we get some of these guys back. Word is still out for Christian Harris to return. Obviously, we're without Nico, which ironically, I fact checked this. Even after him missing this week, he's still the leading receiver in the NFL by 2 yards. He's got Jamar Chase by 2 freaking yards. I laughed. I was cracking up. But he won't be back for at least a month. At least a month.
A month.
And more than likely, he won't be back until, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. He
I'm
probably won't be
Dallas.
back until that Dallas game. I mean, if we're realistically speaking, he probably won't be back to that Dallas game. He'll probably be healthy enough to play the Detroit game, but they'll do what they did with Mixon. They'll hold him out another week to make sure he is good. So, but because here's the thing, you want them for the playoff push. You don't want them right now. Well, I mean, you want them now if they're healthy, but if they're hurt, you want to make sure that he's healthy enough for the playoff push. So, and then obviously into the playoffs. So,
because literally, ladies and gentlemen, it's about to get real. Now the best time of football season is about to get real, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened so quick. I swear,
it really did.
I feel like a week ago I was in preseason game.
Yep.
Now we're going into week 7?
Now we're going into week 7. Week 7. And that's the thing. We haven't even had our bye week yet. Our bye week is literally, I think our bye week is right
for
before
another 4 weeks. I think
our bye week is right after the Jacksonville game, I think. Because we play Jacksonville December 1st, and then we don't play the Dolphins until December 15th. So
could that be a blessing though?
That could be a blessing when you really think about it. Because we've got Miami, Kansas City, Baltimore. So that could be a blessing in disguise. But moving on from that, Moon and I both passed out right after that. Tacos and drinking and me not getting any sleep for almost 24 hours because I worked the night before. We woke up to the, sorry, Dallas fans, not really. Dallas getting their asses mollywopped by the Detroit Lions. Bro, I woke up, and quite frankly, I woke up to your dog licking my face. Not because I wanted to wake up, but because he was all over me for some odd reason. I guess he felt because he was awake, I needed to be awake. And I woke up and I looked, and it was like 33-6, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a bad whooping. But in the day, sorry, Dallas. That is what it is with y'all. But I really want to say a speedy recovery to Hutchinson.
Aiden Hutchinson, yeah,
man. Gruesome leg injury, and I pray for him to come back.
I'm glad I didn't see it. But I heard there was a fractured tibia or fibula. I think it was tibia, if I'm not mistaken.
I've seen the video a couple times. It's not pretty, bro. It really isn't, and it gives you Alex Smith vibes, honestly.
Okay,
so definitely prayers to him for
100%.
For a speedy recovery. He did automatically got surgery in a Dallas hospital.
Yep.
So
I did hear
that
they rushed him into emergency surgery, so that's good. Speedy recovery. If he depending on how quickly he heals and how the Detroit Lions are doing, which right now they're rolling. They probably have the best offense in the entire NFL right now. He couldn't make it back for the end of the year, and then obviously the playoff push for them. So speedy recovery for him. I hope he does that. I hope he's doing great. I hope you're not healthy in time to play the Texans in Week 10. But that's just me.
Yeah.
But definitely a shout out to the Dallas hospital for getting him taken care of. Definitely wishing him a speedy recovery. Dallas got waxed. There really ain't much to say about that. Dak I think he threw like 2 or 3 picks. He threw 2 picks. Cooper Rush came in and threw a pick in the end zone at the end of the game. Jared Goff looked like a beast. He was 18 of 25, 315 yards, 3 tutties. Freaking David Montgomery looking like a damn monster, just running people over and then not going down when they tackle him. So it's
that running game for Detroit is fucking crazy.
It's terrifying. You've got a ground and pound with Montgomery, and then you've got a speedster in Gibbs who's not afraid to lower the boom either.
Mm-mm.
So it's like,
and then that running game is so amazing that the number one play action quarterback shines in that behind that offense and those two running backs for sure.
No,
I mean, people forget Jared Goff was a Super Bowl quarterback. He made it to a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
he just didn't have the right weapons to. I mean, technically they depended too much on Todd Gurley, and Todd Gurley was out of there by that time. But that's they got Super Bowl. He was worn out.
Yeah, by that point he was having I think it was tendonitis or some sort of some form of knee stuff going on with his knees, so he was out of there. So it's a shame. But it's kind of crazy when you look at it. The Rams made that trade for Matthew Stafford and won the Super Bowl that year, and then really haven't done jack shit since. And then look at the Detroit Lions; they've been on the up and up, and it's with Jared Goff. So it's like, but I mean, a lot of it goes to Dan Campbell. He should, in my eyes, he should have won. And this is coming from a Texan fan who had a rookie head coach in DeMeco Ryans last year. I think Dan Campbell should have been coach of the year last year. It was either him or DeMeco. And what's crazy about that is I was reading something, but I don't know if it actually took place. But didn't Kevin Stefanski? Oh no, he is still the head coach. Never mind. I was reading something that he may have gotten fired. I was going to be like, whoa.
Not yet, but he's getting there for sure.
He's getting there, but he's not getting any help from Deshaun Watson. So I mean,
I wouldn't either if you already paid me all my money.
True. This is very true.
I got a life to live after this, sir. I just gotta give you 3 more years. But no, shout out to Dan Campbell for sure, bro. I mean, just seeing him on Hard Knocks, I was like, bro, if I played, we and you play football,
I would run through a wall for him as a receiver. As a receiver, I'm trucking a wall for him, bro. But it's the same thing for DeMeco. I truck a wall for DeMeco too. It's those kind of coaches who get the best out of their players, and it's usually coaches who played the game. So you can respect the fact that they played the game. They know what they're talking about, but they played the game at a high level. So, and that's the thing. It's just like for him, I'd run through a wall, and this was crazy, but it was a class act. Jared Goff got the game ball yesterday for the win, and he gave it back to Dan Campbell. I appreciate the game ball, but this game ball goes to head coach Dan Campbell. That was amazing, and that's something that you don't see often. And
it's something that you need, bro.
It just goes to show how much those players truly love and respect him as a head coach. And that's the thing. When you got players who love and respect you, they're going to do anything and everything they can to play for you and fight for you. And that's exactly what that was. And that's a true shout out to Jared Goff, to the Detroit Lions, and Dan Campbell. I don't want to play all week 10, but we're going to. And I bet it's going to be one hell of a game. I can't wait. Moving on. Jacksonville and Chicago had I won't call it a fight.
They had a game.
I won't call it a fight. They had a game in London. And Caleb Williams is starting to look like the number 1 overall pick that the Bears took him with. Threw for 226 yards, 4 tutties, had an interception. But they ended up rolling over the Jacksonville Jaguars 35-16. Jacksonville was picked by some to actually win the division again this year because they thought the Texans were ahead of schedule. Jacksonville's 1-5, tied with Tennessee for last place in the AFC South.
Another team that took a bad loss as well.
Mm-hmm.
And who they play? Indy?
Yep. They played Indy, and Joe Flacco came in there and was throwing the ball around like he was still playing for Baltimore before they drafted Lamar Jackson.
I'm hoping Anthony Richardson is healthy for the Indy game, because if I had to see Joe beat us beat us again and another team, it's gonna kill me, bro. He beat me on my birthday when he played for Cleveland. I don't need this. So Joe, relax yourself. You know what I'm saying?
So it's I mean, as a Texan fan, obviously I love seeing it, but as a football fan, T-Law was supposed to come out of Clemson and just be this fucking beast.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have a terrible game, but he didn't have a great game either. I mean, he did throw an interception. He was 23 of 35, which is more than 50% completion percentage, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an INT. Here's my question. Is this the team that... Excuse me. Sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit, and that's what the Jacksonville Jaguars are.
Salute.
They gave up Calvin Ridley, which my understanding is he hasn't done shit in Tennessee, so that's perfectly fine. They've got a solid receiving core when you look at it. Evan Ingram at tight end. He had 10 catches for $102. Gabe Davis, who they got from the Bills, who need a receiver, my understanding, unless they're still winning at halftime. I know you got that game on.
20-10 right now at halftime.
No. Okay, great. Christian Kirk, who's a really good slot receiver, and then Brian Thomas is the receiver they took in the first or second round, I believe, out of LSU. First round? Okay. So, yeah. I mean, they've got a solid cast of receivers, and then they've got really good running backs in Tank Bigsby is a really good backup, but Travis Etienne had 3 carries for -1 yard. What the fuck is that? So, is it the O-line? Is it the play calling? What is it?
Doug Peterson, or whatever his name is.
Doug Peterson. Okay.
I think it's time for a change when it comes to coaching there. I mean, I don't think he has the locker room anymore on the cool.
I don't think he does either. And then you've got Caleb Williams out here, 23 of 29. So he had 6 incomplete passes, 226 yards, 4 tutties, 1 interception. DeAndre Swift, 17 carries, 91 yards. Caleb Williams ran 4 times for 56 yards.
But you can also see that the Jaguars' defense is also struggling as well.
Yeah. Let's see here. He had his full cast of receivers. Keenan Allen had 4 catches for 41 yards and 2 touchdowns. Rome Odunze had 2 catches for 40 yards. And DJ Moore had 4 catches for 20 yards. So, I mean, he's got a good cast of receivers, but it's like what we said before. Caleb Williams is starting to figure it out. So,
congrats.
You said congrats.
You now are their lead employee. You have been promoted. Congratulations.
He said congrats. Oh shit. In other words, he doesn't give a shit. We don't have to play y'all right now. Hopefully.
Because it's Texans around here, baby.
Mm-hmm,
you know what I'm saying?
Texans. All right, so moving on to the next, the last AFC showdown. And the reason why I say the last AFC South showdown is because it was between the Colts and the Titans, where that good old Joe Flacco, fucking old man Joe, fucking 22 of 38, 189 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception, and they win 20-17. I'll tell you what's not a winning formula for the Tennessee Titans. And you want to know what that is?
Will Levis.
Starting quarterback, Will Levis, throwing 27 times, completing 16 of his passes for 95 yards. That's not going to win you shit.
You better start putting creamer in your coffee and stop putting mayo, because they ain't working, big guy.
Not at all.
Change it up.
Not at all. Tony Pollard, had a good game, 17 carries, 93 yards and a tutty. But
quarterback play is pretty bad. Really bad.
Yeah, no shit. And that's just
better look next year.
I guess. I mean, I really had high hopes for him as a fan of the game after seeing him last year. He had some really good moments, especially against us. And this was when our defense was going at his ass. And I think they ended up knocking him out, or they almost knocked him out. But it's
they messed up his foot or something.
But I mean, it's like, it's bad. It's rough.
Yeah, sadly, it doesn't even seem like the AFC South is a competitor right now.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. A lot of people thought going into the season that the AFC South was going to be a really competitive division. Mm-hmm. Some people had And here's the crazy part. I heard a lot of people saying, even after all the moves we made, it was either going to be Jacksonville or Indianapolis. It was never going to be the Texans. And that was crazy in my eyes. But I was like, all right, whatever. Play it out. We do have, out of everybody in the division, we do have the hardest schedule. So maybe that played a lot into it. That was a good catch. Sorry, I'm seeing replays from the Jaguars Titans and Colts game. And Michael Pittman had a really good catch. So, but it was never the Titans, and a lot of it wasn't the Texans. And when you're really looking at it right now, it's crazy to think that the Texans are 5-1. It's not crazy to think if you're a Texan fan, but they're 5-1, and the Colts are 3-3. But Tennessee and Jacksonville are both 1-4 and 1-5. Like, you really weren't expecting that. Like, maybe 2 wins, 3 wins, maybe, but not 1 win. And the win that Jacksonville got was over Tennessee, and it was a nail biter for them. And then I think the win that the Titans got,
it was over the Colts.
What was it, over the Colts?
Yeah.
And the win that the Titans got was over the Dolphins when Tua wasn't playing. So, was it over the Colts?
Yes. It was last week.
You're right. I'm wrong. You're right. I
apologize.
know. Thank you for fact checking me.
Heart.
Middle finger.
No. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, to the last segment of the show.
Last segment of the show. I mean, it was a good week of football, but I mean, it was watching that game yesterday. It was nice to have a game where we did not have to stress and freak out. You could go in and out of my balcony door and go grill and do your thing, and not have to, like, when you go out there, not be like, oh my God, when are they going to do something? You can actually be out there and, focusing on what you was doing, and, and we didn't have to worry about shit. So it was a overall great game. It was a much needed game like that, because like you said, the rest of the season, there's not really a cakewalk. We've talked about Jacksonville and Tennessee both being 1 win, being 1-win teams. But if you're a Texan fan and a Jacksonville and a Tennessee fan, you know damn well that those games are always a freaking slugfest. Like, it's never really a freaking cakewalk. So
teams love to play the spoiler. So at those times that Jacksonville and Titans don't have nothing to really play for, bro, they're gonna play their butts off against us. They're gonna play their ass off.
Like, we don't want the Texans to look good on our account. They're gonna come out and play. So, you got anything else you want to add, brother?
Go Texans. Honestly, hey, games at 12 is at Green Bay, Lambeau Field. Don't know what the weather's gonna be like, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a little chilly for sure.
It's definitely gonna have that fall winter-esque to it. There's no getting around that one.
I'm confident with our Texans. I mean, I feel like CJ says he played at Ohio State. He has cold weather experience. So now is, like I said, now it's just really it's now time to lock in.
They're not picked to win though. The ESPN matchup we're a 3-point underdog, and they're currently expecting Green Bay to win by 56.5%.
You can't blame on me. Guesstimation
weather at this time is 56 degrees with rain. So,
they already know if there's rain, you know what's going to have to happen. Running game
is going to have to be
and then our tackling has to be on point.
I'm lying my ass off. That's currently what the weather is in Green Bay right now. On Sunday, it is expected to be sunny, 69 degrees. Beautiful day for football. I might have to get me some tickets. Might have to take my ass up there.
At first, I thought you had got Springfield weather.
Nah, definitely not. But as always, y'all, it's your boy K Steg. My guy Big Moon joining on us today. Unfortunately, Red Nation Blogger couldn't be here with us. He's got some stuff going on. But in any case, man, hey, we got to bring y'all the news. As always, like, subscribe, comment if you want us to talk about other stuff. Comment if you want to criticize. It is what it is. We're human. We're trying to get better at this. We're just trying to put out content for y'all, man. Let us know what y'all want to hear, That's what we're here for. That's all from me. Boom. With your rock star having ass. I hate you. Not really.
Yeah. Much love to everybody, guys. Come on, come on, give it a give it a give it a
It had a
give it
delayed
a
reaction. Shit. Oh, damn it.